Hi, it's Jez here from nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm bringing you my tutorial for the scrapbook blog hop that I was on, ink scrap share, and our theme was summer. So I've done a layout in my scrapbook that commemorates our American adventure that we did 2 years ago, and it's 2 years ago today that we were there. And so I thought, with the theme of summer, it was 90 degrees, it was definitely summer, that I would do another spread in my scrapbook. And I've got some photos here of some of our favourite buildings. Ed loves that one, the Flatline building. Iron building, he absolutely loves it. I love the Empire State Building. So it's featuring twice, different sides of the building, and this was just one night. We were just wandering, and I don't think we'd ever been here before on any of our trips. So quite like that. It was lovely, and so I thought I would just don't really need to say very much. The buildings speak for themselves, and so what I thought I'd do was create a skyline across the bottom, and I thought that would be a good idea. So that is what we're going to create. So I've pulled out some punches that I think would create some nice skyscrapers, and I'm going to just do it in basic grey and just have my skyline. I'm thinking I might add some windows with black, or I might leave it. I haven't quite decided, to be fair. So this punch will give me 6 different skyscrapers of different widths and different tops. That would be quite a nice skyscraper, I thought. This one, I could have 2 different ones. I could have that fancy top and that flatter top, well, dome top. And I've got this punch here. That would be another fancy one. I did then have a look at some dies, and I thought this tie would create an interesting one, quite like that. Might even do a nice little bit pyramid there, sort of thing. And I thought some of these might make some interesting skyscrapers as well. So I'm not trying to replicate the actual skyline of New York. That would be quite hard. I'm just wanting to create something that looks a little bit like skyscrapers, really. So I'm going to cut myself some strips for this punch here. It's quite difficult. I've zoomed quite far in, simply because I'm working on my desk. It is, as ever, chaotic. So we've got about 7 3/4. Well, it's a little bit less than 7 3/4. I'm going to just cut this down to 11.5 so that I'm easy maths to work with. So cut that off. So I need 1/2 inch. I want 3/4 inch. And I want 1 inch. Forgotten where we are now. So 9.25. That'll be 1 inch. So that should be correct. Yep, that goes up there nicely. 3/4 just right. And my 1/2 just right, yeah. So that's kind of the easiest way of cutting your strips. I'm going to repeat so that I've got 1 on each page. So what are we at there? 9 1/4. So I'm going to do the 3/4 first, because that's easier. And then do me half. And then me one. So that's my strips for that. I'll do some die cutting. And I want to do, right, I'm going to do some strips for this so that I can make it longer. So I'm just checking how wide it is. So it's about 1.5. So I'm going to go this way now. So that's a half. That's 1.5. So that should allow me to feed in all the way through and out the other end. Right, so let's pull it out there. There, and I'm going to do it at the other end as well. So that gives me two buildings. One for each side of the page, and I just lob that in half. Right, and then I could do the same with this. Measure it across. So that's 1 3/4. So that's the 3/4. So we go down to 5. That should give us 1 3/4. So that will give us a nice, that's a nice shaped building. And then this way is not quite so easy. There we go, we've got 2 buildings there. I'm going to do that again. So 1 3/4. I'm not sure how many I'll need until I start sort of putting them together. I'll do this side first, that's easiest. There we go. Can be done. So that's that. And then this one is much thinner. So I quite like having the mixture So that's 1 1/8, that looks like. 1 1/8. So that's 1 1/8. There it is. So it's much easier when you're just doing the one end, because you can pull it through like this. So that's that. That gives me 2 of those buildings. And then we've got a bit left to either make some more of those and do some die cutting. So I'm gonna create, oops, I'm gonna have a building doing that way. Now that would be an interesting building with a funny shape at the top. So I might cut a couple of those out, and I might have a little bit of a diamond, and I'm going to cut some of these long ones out, although they might be kind of small. I might not bother, I might just do these, so I'll get them die cut. So I've die cut them to give myself some interesting looking buildings, and we just need to punch these. I haven't done that yet, so get 2 out of each. The buildings do come in different heights, in different shapes at the top, and so that is what I want to represent. And it is one of the things that we just loved, because I remember the first time we went to New York, and one of our friends said, you'll be surprised at how much of it's familiar, because we've seen it on the TV, in films, etc., that we would just recognise everything. And coming in from the airport, we flew into JFK. It was incredible. And we got so excited. So, yeah, they were absolutely right. We did recognise everything. So, I am just going to cut them down. Oh, just about, I've lost it. I dropped something. I could see it going, I couldn't save it. So, just gonna not measuring, I'm just lobbing, and I might change these. So I want them at different heights. But for now, we'll just cut them in half, and then I can play with how tall I want them. That one I want straighten it up. About right. So that's everything, isn't it? Oh, one more. So that's all of my buildings. And I did have a think about putting something on it to give the impression of windows. So I'm seeing how they look, and then that one. I've got a triangle one in there. I actually think we've got just sorting out that I've got enough. Where's my other one of that? It's there. Right, so that is, so I have cut enough. Might have cut more than enough. It's only 12 inches wide and it's actually slightly less. Yeah, so I don't actually need all of those. That's okay. Better to have too much than not enough. And I think that looks quite cool. And so now I've got to think about having my my windows. So I thought, I wonder if I could use these two or even that one just to give an impression of windows. So let's have a little look-see at what that would look like. So if I get me memento, and let's just, maybe not on all of them, but let's just, I think that's quite good as an idea for a window. I might do some a little bit different. Not sure I'm convinced by this one. No, I think I would just stick to the one. So I'll continue to do these, and then I'm gonna put them on the page with the other half not stamped and see which I like best. So that's half of them done. So I'm going to put them on the page and see what I think. Do they look weird? Or do they look good? Okay, so I can lay these. And then let's have a look at these. I think it does need a little bit of colour, but I'm not 100% convinced. By that, I don't know. I could put New York Skyline in. I could cut them out of letters in black and leave it like that rather than that. I'm gonna have to take a picture and decide. Okay, so I took a photo, I flicked from one to the other, I went down and asked Ed what did he think, and we've decided to not have the window things. We think that looks better. So of course, if you've got something that you can do windows with, you can add them if you want to have a go at doing this. But oh, that one, oh, can't use that. It's a good job I've got some slightly extra ones. So there we go. So let's move them off. Do one side at a time and decide where we want them, and then we'll just stick them down. Not got much variant of size there. Let's have a big tall one. Lay them down, stick them on. Might just trim that a little bit because it is slightly going over. I might take a bit off that side so that these buildings are a little bit more centred. I was being a bit arty with this photo, sort of framing the Empire State Building there in the trees. And I think I'm just going to put the photos down as they are because I just quite like that. I think that works as a nice sort of simple page and it says what it is. So a little bit of Tombow. And so quite a quick little layout if you didn't faff about with doing something that you then didn't want to do. But it's all the fun of the creative process. Trying things out. It might have been a fantastic idea. So that's the layout finished. It is quite difficult to show it in its entirety. But yeah, quite pleased how that turned out, really. I kind of have it slanted, you can see it. So yeah, really, really simple. Few punches and yeah, the New York skyline or a cityscape. So yeah, hope you like that. That's my summer themed, because it was the summer. It was 90 degrees. I think I said that already. Yeah, so that leads from the rest of it. So yeah, as you can see, I haven't done any more from the last time I showed you this book, which is why I thought I'd get on with it. So yeah, hope you like that, and I'll probably bring you some more at some point, depending on the themes. Okay, thanks for joining me. All the links to all these punches will be down below if you are inspired and wish to use your punches in a different way. And I will link to the blog hop so you can go and see everybody else's sort of scrapbook layouts. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye for now.